Time never was when man was not.
Time never was when man was not. When noble Drew Alley stated, "Time never was when man was not," he wasn't talking about the physical human that walks the planet Earth. He was describing man as divine consciousness. He was articulating a metaphysical law concerning the nature of consciousness, existence, and time itself. This statement has been widely misunderstood because modern language has reduced the word man to mean a human being. But noble Drew Alley was not speaking of the physical body, nor of gender or flesh. He was using the word man in its original scientific and metaphysical sense, the thinking being, the conscious principle that precedes form, history, and time. To grasp this teaching correctly, one must first understand that in ancient science, language was not arbitrary. Words were chosen because they encoded function. The word man did not originate as a reference to a male body. Its roots reach back to ancient linguistic systems where it signified mind, thought, and awareness. The Proto-Indo-European root, men, means to think, to remember, or to be conscious. From this root come words such as mind, mental, memory, mens in Latin, manus in Sanskrit, and Manu, the primordial lawgiver and thinking being in ancient Indian cosmology. Across cultures, the word man consistently pointed not to biology, but to intellect and self-awareness. This distinction is critical because noble Drew Alley was restoring a people who had been stripped of correct definition. To define someone incorrectly is to place them into error. By restoring the true meaning of man, he was restoring a metaphysical identity rather than offering a religious belief. Man, in this context, is not the body that is born and dies. Man is the self-aware intelligence that uses the body as a vehicle. When noble Drew Alley says that time never was when man was not, he is asserting that consciousness does not originate within time. Time is not a primary reality. It is a measurement of change, experienced by awareness. Without awareness, there is no past, no future, and no duration, only existence without sequence. Time arises only when there is a conscious observer capable of registering movement, change, and succession. Therefore, man, as conscious awareness, must precede time. Time exists within man's awareness, not the other way around. This is why noble Drew Alley continues by stating that if the life of man had a beginning, then it would necessarily have an end. Anything that begins within time must eventually conclude within time. Bodies begin and end. Civil identities are created and dissolved. Nations rise and fall. But consciousness itself does not begin in time, because it is the very principle by which time is perceived. Man, understood as self-aware mind, cannot end, because it did not originate within temporal conditions. This teaching aligns seamlessly with both ancient metaphysics and modern physics. In Moorish science, Allah represents the self-aware intelligence of the all, while man represents a localized expression of that intelligence capable of self-reflection. Man is not the all itself, but man is not separate from it either. Man is a point of awareness within infinite awareness. This understanding avoids two common errors. It avoids spookism, which externalizes divinity as something separate from the individual, and it avoids ego deification, which falsely claims the individual is the totality of existence. Instead, Moorish science teaches proportion and balance. When man is reduced to flesh alone, he becomes subject to time, decay, and legal fiction. When man is understood as mind, he is recognized as timeless, continuous, and sovereign in nature. Thus, when noble Drew Alley declared that time never was when man was not, He was restoring humanity to its proper metaphysical position. Man is not a product of time. Man is the conscious I am principle through which time is known.